Today, I want to focus on the Ukrainian counteroffensive in the Kherson region, and in particular on the southern part of the region. At first glance, it seems like the Ukrainians here struggle to gain momentum and do not have the possibility to move forward. However, a deeper look at the situation quickly reveals that the Ukrainians are preparing a massive breakthrough to slice the Russian group west of the Inhulets River in half. And here is why. As you remember, the most active part of the front line has been the area around Ternovi Pody. Around a month ago, the Ukrainians conducted an extensive offensive operation towards Liubomyrivka. The Russians here were so unprepared that they left 3 settlements at once: Liubomyrivka, Ternovi Pody and Zelenyi Hai. But because it endangered their absolutely vital positions in Kyselivka, the Russians quickly regrouped and attacked Zelenyi Hai. Since the Ukrainians did not have enough time to establish their positions here, they left this settlement. After that, the fights have been taking place around Ternovi Pody. Despite high pressure, the Ukrainians maintained their positions here and continuously reinforced this region. Russian sources were also reporting a lot of combat reconnaissance in this region. On October 5, the Russians reported engaging with a Ukrainian sabotage group. On October 6, the Ukrainians also brought more troops and supplies to Kyselivka. From here, the next day, the Ukrainians launched combat reconnaissance towards Maximivka. On October 8, Russian sources started reporting about extensive Ukrainian attempts to collect intelligence about Russian defense using drones and reconnaissance groups. The Ukrainians increased the area of their operation even more because Russian forces also started to engage with small Ukrainian reconnaissance groups, even in the area of Snayarivka. Over the last week, there was a massive reinforcement of the whole Kherson front line, and in fear of an attack, the Russians started pushing the Ukrainians along the entire front line to figure out where the Ukrainians were preparing to strike. Shortly after that, the number of clashes around Ternovi Pody and Maximivka increased. The report started coming in that the Russians were already running from Snayarivka. Later it was confirmed that this was the evacuation of clerks, which resembles what we saw in Velika Oleksandrivka. Realizing that they were running high risk or being taken into a pocket, the Russians started evacuating clerks and some equipment. 2 weeks later Velika Oleksandrivka fell. In order to undercut Snayarivka the same way the Ukrainians undercut Velika Oleksandrivka, the Ukrainians are preparing an attack from Ternovi Pody towards Shmidtov. From here, they will be able to fix Russian forces from the west side of the river and attack them from the south, simultaneously attacking Maximivka from Kyselivka. As you can see, Maximivka is located between 2 rivers, which makes it only possible to take from the north. Nonetheless, the Ukrainians can also use the tree belts to hit the enemy's flank from the eastern bank. By establishing control over this agglomeration, the Ukrainians will open access to all the settlement west of the Verkhnyna River. The reason why the Ukrainians are not launching this attack is simple. The northern Ukrainian group has not advanced enough towards Snayarivka to put this group in danger if the Ukrainians advance from Ternovi Pody. But if the Ukrainians expand their Inhulets bridgehead and move closer to Snayarivka from the north, then a successful attack from Ternovi Pody would put them into a pocket. They will only have a 10 km buffer zone between their main retreat route and Ukrainian artillery, and given that this area stretches for more than 30 kilometers, Russian personnel will be reduced to 0 by the time they cross this area if they decide to retreat too late. The Ukrainians understand this and expect to make another blitzkrieg, shorten the front line by around 50 kilometers and establish fire positions to attack Kherson almost from any angle. If you are against the invasion of Ukraine and want to support the work that I am doing, consider making a purchase in the online store UA Supporter. Here you can find a lot of products with Ukrainian symbols, to not only show your support for this channel, but also for Ukraine.